Chapter 5, talking about events in the past. Let's look at a conjugation of the verb to be in the present tense and see what happens when we put it in the past. So, I wrote down the present tense to jog your memory. Ich bin, du bist, ist, wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind. I am, you are, and so on, right? Remember this? Yeah. Now, how do we change I am to the past tense? You say in English, of course, I was, right? I was, and look what German does. Ich war. WA, English has an S, German has an R, right? No ending. Du warst gets his ST. And what do you think RCS are going to do? Follow the same example as ich. War, sie war, es war. Right. So du warst in English, you were. And he, she, it was. That's the English one. Now in the plural, same thing. Wir waren, we were. You all were. Ihr wart. Again, you were. Und sie waren. They were. So, in the present tense, the verb to be is fairly irregular, right? You see it over here, different forms. In the past tense, the basic form is always WA. WA, WA, all the way through. All you do is add an ending in the plural and in the do form, and ich and RCS do not get endings. So, this is the past tense of the verb to be. It's easy and pretty straightforward. Now let's look at the verb to have. I have, you have. I wrote down the conjugation for you in the present tense to make sure you remember it. Now let's see what happens in the past. In the present we had changes, right? Be, ST, be drops out completely and then it goes back in down here. What does it do in the past? How do we say the past tense of I have? We say I had. Ich hatte. I had. Alright, what happens here? We have a double T and an E as an ending now. The verb to be in the past had no endings for I and he, she, it. However, when you say had, it gets an E. Du hattest, EST, ASES. You probably can guess already, it's like ich hatte, double D, and an E, and then wir hatten, ihr hattet und sie hatten. So, in the past tense, the be is replaced by a double T. Ich, RCS get E endings, and the rest of the verbs get the same endings as you learned already. So, it's an easy conjugation. And how do we translate it? Ich hatte, I had. Du hattest, you had. RCS hatte, he, she, it had, right? He, she, it had. Then we had, you all had, and they had. Just a little bit of memorization and remembering that in the past tense the be disappears, get replaced by a double T. In the verb to be, the whole form changes like English to WA, and then to the WA you add an R in German, and then personal endings for you, we, you all, and they, and no endings for I and he, she, it. So make flashcards, try to memorize them, or try to analyze it and remember it this way. So how would we say? I was home. How would we say that? Ich war zu Hause. Right? I was, here it is, ich war zu Hause. I had no money. Ich hatte kein Geld. Alright, how about Peter and Paul? We haven't talked about them for a while. Peter and Paul, there's two people. They had plans. Peter and Paul hatten, since they're plural, en, Pläne. There we go. These are some of the examples of how to put them into sentences.